I saw Marcus the moment I walked into the Velvet Room. Of all the bars in this city, he had to be at this one, on this night, when I was finally trying to move on with my life. He stood near the bar with his usual crowd, men in expensive suits who thought money made them interesting. And there, hanging on his arm like an accessory, was a blonde who looked exactly like the type he'd always claimed he wasn't interested in during our 3-year relationship. My hands clenched around my clutch. Sophia had convinced me to come out tonight, to reclaim my confidence after 6 months of healing from the worst relationship of my life. But seeing Marcus there, looking happy and unbothered while I was still picking up the pieces he'd shattered, made my carefully constructed composure crack. "Emma, don't," Sophia whispered, gripping my arm. "He's not worth it. Let's just go to another—" "Emma?" Marcus's voice cut through the ambient noise. He'd spotted me. Of course he had. "Wow, I didn't expect to see you here." There was something in his tone, surprise mixed with satisfaction, that made my stomach turn. He was enjoying this, enjoying the discomfort on my face, the way I'd frozen in place. "Marcus," I kept my voice neutral. "Enjoying your evening?" "Very much." He pulled the blonde closer, his hand possessive on her waist in a way he'd never been with me in public. "This is Amber. Amber, this is Emma, my ex." The way he said ex, like I was something he'd outgrown, discarded, upgraded from, made rage bubble up in my chest. "Nice to meet you," Amber said with a smile that might have been genuine if she knew what kind of man she was dating. "You look good." Marcus continued, his eyes traveling over me in a way that felt invasive. "Finally taking care of yourself? I always said you had potential if you just tried harder." The familiar criticism, dressed up as a compliment, that had been his specialty, making me feel like I was never quite good enough, always needing improvement, always falling short of his standards. "I need a drink," I muttered to Sophia, turning away. But Marcus followed. Because of course he did. "So are you here alone? Still having trouble meeting people?" He leaned against the bar beside me, too close, invading my space like he still had the right. "I told you, Em, you're too intense. Men don't like that. You need to be more easygoing. Like Amber." Something inside me snapped. I was not going to let Marcus make me feel small. Not anymore. Not after 6 months of therapy and self-work and learning that his criticisms were projections of his own insecurity. My eyes scanned the bar desperately, looking for an escape, an excuse, anything, and locked with the most intense gaze I'd ever encountered. A man sat in a corner booth, surrounded by 3 other men in expensive suits, but somehow commanding all the attention in the space. Dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from marble. High cheekbones, strong jaw, a mouth that looked like it rarely smiled. But it was his eyes that stopped my heart. Dark green, almost emerald, studying me with an intensity that made my skin prickle. He was beautiful in a dangerous way. The kind of man you knew was trouble just by looking at him. Our eyes met, and something passed between us. Recognition, maybe, or curiosity. He tilted his head slightly, one eyebrow raising in a silent question. And in that moment, desperate and reckless and so tired of Marcus making me feel worthless, I made a decision that would change everything. I walked straight to that corner booth, my heart hammering, very aware that Marcus was watching. "Hi, baby," I said, my voice surprisingly steady as I reached the table. "Sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible." The man's expression didn't change, but something flickered in those green eyes. Surprise, amusement, interest. His companions looked confused, started to speak, but he held up one hand, silencing them. "Traffic," he repeated, his voice deep and accented. Italian, I realized. Of course. I was beginning to worry. He was playing along. This beautiful, dangerous stranger was actually playing along. Relief flooded through me. "Do you mind if I—" "Sit." It wasn't a request. He gestured to the space beside him in the booth, and his men immediately shifted to make room. I slid in beside him, hyper-aware of how close we were, how his cologne smelled like expensive wood and something darker. Under the table, his hand found mine, lacing our fingers together in a gesture so natural it made my breath catch. "Who's your friend?" he asked quietly, his eyes flicking to Marcus, who'd followed me and now stood awkwardly at the edge of the booth, looking confused and irritated. "Ex-boyfriend," I whispered. "Being a jerk. I understand." His thumb traced circles on my palm, sending electricity up my arm. "I'll handle it." He looked up at Marcus, his expression cooling several degrees. "Can I help you with something?" Marcus's eyes narrowed. "Emma, what are you doing?" "Having a drink with my boyfriend." The word felt foreign but necessary. "Did you need something?" "Boyfriend. You didn't mention, Why would I mention my personal life to you, Marcus? We broke up 6 months ago." I leaned slightly into the stranger beside me, feeling his solid warmth. "Now, if you'll excuse us, we were in the middle of a private conversation." Marcus's face flushed red. "You expect me to believe you're dating? Do you have any idea who this is?" "The man I'm in love with?" I said without thinking, then immediately regretted the words. But the stranger beside me smiled, a slow, dangerous smile that didn't reach his eyes. "The feeling is mutual, cara mia." His accent made the endearment sound like sin and promise. Marcus looked between us, clearly trying to decide if this was real or some elaborate show. Finally, he scoffed. "Right, well, enjoy your evening." "Come on, Amber." He stalked away, and I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. "Thank you," I said, starting to pull my hand away from the stranger's grip. "I'm sorry for putting you on the spot like that. My ex was being... Don't apologize." His hand tightened on mine, keeping me close. "And don't pull away yet. He's still watching." I glanced over and saw Marcus at the bar, his eyes on us, his expression dark. "Right. Sorry." I forced myself to relax against the stranger's side. "I'll just stay a few minutes until he leaves, then I'll get out of your hair." "What makes you think I want you out of my hair?" His voice held amusement now. "You walked up to me, called me baby, declared your love. The least you could do is tell me your name." "Emma. Emma Carter." I finally looked at him properly, at the sharp features, the expensive suit, the way his companions were watching us with varying expressions of shock and concern. "And you are?" "Dante Moretti." He said it like I should recognize the name. One of his men, a younger guy with nervous energy, leaned forward. "Boss, maybe we should—" "Luca." Dante's voice was quiet but held warning. "Give us a moment." The 3 men immediately stood, moving to a nearby table but keeping us in sight. Bodyguards, I realized. Or associates. Either way, this was clearly not a normal businessman. "So, Emma Carter," Dante continued, still holding my hand, his thumb still tracing those maddening circles. "You use strange men as fake boyfriends often?" "Never. You're my first." I tried for levity, but my voice shook slightly. "I'm really sorry. I was desperate, and you were there, and you looked... dangerous? Safe, actually. Which is probably crazy given..." I gestured vaguely at him, at his men, at the way everyone in the bar was very carefully not looking at our booth. "Given that I'm clearly not someone you should approach?" "Yeah, that." He studied me for a long moment, those green eyes seeing far too much. "Your ex, he hurt you." It wasn't a question, but I answered anyway. "Not physically, but yes. He was very good at making me feel worthless." Something dark flickered across Dante's face, and now he's here with another woman, making sure you see him happy. Rubbing it in my face, yeah. I laughed bitterly. Classic Marcus. He can't just move on. He has to make sure I know I was the problem. "You weren't the problem." The certainty in Dante's voice made me look at him sharply. "You don't know that. You just met me. I know that a man who truly loved you wouldn't let you go, wouldn't parade his new relationship in front of you, wouldn't..." He stopped, jaw clenching. "Wouldn't make you feel like you needed to use a stranger as a shield." Well, thank you for being that shield. I should probably... Stay. His hand tightened on mine. "Your ex is still watching, and I'm curious about you, Emma Carter, about the woman brave enough to walk up to me and claim me as hers." "I wasn't claiming... Weren't you?" His smile was knowing. "You could have chosen anyone in this bar. But you chose me. Why?" "I don't know. You looked like you could handle it." "I can handle many things." His eyes held mine. The question is, can you handle me? Something in his tone made my breath catch. This was flirting. Dangerous, intense flirting from a man who was clearly way out of my league. I should go, I said again, though I made no move to leave. Should you? Because your ex is approaching again, and this time, he brought his date. I turned to see Marcus heading back toward us, Amber in tow, his expression determined. Last chance to run, Dante murmured. Or you can stay, and we'll make this convincing enough that he never bothers you again. Define convincing. Let me show you. His hand came up to cup my face, tilting it toward him. Tell me to stop if this isn't what you want. Then he kissed me, not a peck. Not a performance, a real kiss. Deep, claiming, his mouth moving over mine with practiced skill and barely restrained hunger. His hand threaded through my hair, angling my head, and I found myself kissing him back, forgetting where we were, forgetting Marcus, forgetting everything except the taste of whiskey and danger on this stranger's lips. When he finally pulled back, I was breathing hard, my hands clutched in his suit jacket without remembering reaching for him. That should do it, he said quietly, his eyes dark with something that looked like surprise. Your ex just left, in quite a hurry. I glanced over and saw Marcus's retreating back, practically dragging Amber toward the exit. Mission accomplished, I managed. Thank you. Really, I should have dinner with me. I blinked. What? Dinner. Tomorrow night. Let me take you somewhere nice, somewhere your ex might see us. Make this convincing. You want to fake date me? I want to get to know the woman who walked up to me like she owned me. The rest, he shrugged. We'll figure it out. I don't even know you. You could be a serial killer. I'm not, though I've done things that might horrify you. His honesty was unsettling. But Emma, that kiss wasn't fake, and I'd very much like to repeat it. Preferably without an audience. My phone buzzed. Sophia, probably wondering where I'd disappeared to. I need to find my friend. Then let me walk you to her. Dante stood, offering his hand. And think about my offer. Dinner tomorrow, 7 o'clock. I'll pick you up. I didn't say yes. You didn't say no. His smile was confident, knowing. You will say yes, because you felt it too. That kiss, that connection. He was right, and that terrified me. Sophia found me as Dante was walking me to the door. Her eyes widened comically when she saw him. What? Who? Sophia, this is Dante. Dante, my best friend Sophia. A pleasure. Dante's smile was polite, but his attention remained on me. Emma, your number. It wasn't a question. I found myself rattling off my number, watching as he programmed it into his phone. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Wear something beautiful. He kissed my hand like something out of a movie, then walked back to his table, where his men immediately swarmed him with questions. What the hell just happened? Sophia demanded the moment we were outside. I have no idea. But I think I just agreed to a fake date with the most dangerous man I've ever met. Fake? Emma, that kiss didn't look fake. And do you know who Dante Moretti is? Should I? She stopped, pulling out her phone and typing rapidly. Oh my God. Oh my God. Emma, he's connected, like Mafia connected. His family runs... I don't want to know. I cut her off, my heart racing. It was just one kiss, one fake relationship moment to get Marcus to back off. But even as I said it, I touched my lips, still feeling the phantom pressure of Dante's mouth on mine. At home, alone in my apartment, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I'm already counting the hours until tomorrow. Sweet dreams, Emma. D.I. stared at the message, my heart hammering. How did you get my number? I just gave it to you. I programmed it while you were watching. Did you think I'd forget? This is crazy. We don't know each other. Then let me know you. Let me take you to dinner. Let me prove that kiss wasn't a fluke. It was just to convince Marcus. Liar. You felt it too. The way your hands gripped my jacket. The way you kissed me back. The way you're thinking about it right now. He was right. Damn him. One dinner. That's all. One dinner. For now. Sleep well, Bella. Dream of me. I did dream of him. Of green eyes and dangerous smiles and a kiss that felt like coming home and jumping off a cliff all at once. What had I gotten myself into? I changed outfits 4 times before Dante was supposed to arrive. Each dress felt wrong. Too formal, too casual, too desperate, too indifferent. Finally, I settled on a deep burgundy dress that Sophia had made me buy months ago, insisting I'd need it someday. That someday was apparently a fake date with a man who might be in the Mafia. At exactly 7 o'clock, my buzzer rang. Miss Carter, there's a Mr. Moretti here to see you, my doorman said, his voice holding unusual respect. Should I send him up? I'll come down. He requested to come up, miss. Said something about wanting to see how you live. That should have been a red flag. Instead, I found myself saying, okay, send him up. 3 minutes later, Dante Moretti stood in my doorway, looking impossibly elegant in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than my rent. His eyes traveled over me slowly, appreciatively. Bellissima, he murmured. Even more beautiful than I remembered. You saw me yesterday. 26 hours ago. I counted. He stepped inside without invitation, his gaze sweeping my small apartment with the same intensity he'd used on me. This is you. Books everywhere. Plants on the windowsill. Art that means something rather than matches the furniture. Are you always this observant? Always. It's how I stay alive. He picked up a photo from my bookshelf, me and Sophia at graduation. Your friend. She looked terrified of me last night. She Googled you, told me you're dangerous. And yet, you let me into your apartment. You're either very brave or very foolish. He set down the photo, turning to face me. Which is it, Emma? I haven't decided yet. He smiled. A real smile this time, not the dangerous one from last night. Honest, I like that. Too many people in my life tell me what they think I want to hear. What do you want to hear? The truth. Always the truth. He offered his arm. Ready? The restaurant was like nothing I'd experienced. Private, exclusive, the kind of place that didn't have prices on the menu because if you had to ask, you couldn't afford it. The maitre d' greeted Dante by name, leading us to a corner table that somehow felt both public and private. Do you come here often? I asked as Dante held out my chair. I own it. Well, my family does. He sat across from me, immediately commanding the attention of every server in the room without saying a word. I wanted somewhere we could talk without interruption, without your ex showing up. Has Marcus been bothering you? No. But he's been asking questions. About me. About us. About whether we're really together. Dante's expression darkened slightly. He doesn't believe you'd move on so quickly, or that you could attract someone like me. The casual cruelty of that statement, that Marcus thought I wasn't good enough for Dante, made anger flash through me. For the record, Dante continued, his eyes holding mine. He's an idiot. Any man who had you and let you go is the biggest fool I've ever encountered. You don't know me well enough to say that. Then let me know you. That's why we're here. He leaned back as wine was poured without him ordering. Tell me about Emma Carter. Not the woman who needed a fake boyfriend. The real woman underneath. So I told him. about growing up in a small town, about moving to the city for college and never leaving, about my job in marketing that paid well but felt empty, about my love of old movies and terrible reality TV, about my friendship with Sophia that had survived since freshman year. And somehow, talking to Dante felt easy, natural. He asked questions that showed he was really listening, that he cared about the answers. Not like Marcus, who'd always been waiting for his turn to talk, to redirect the conversation back to himself. "Your turn," I said over the main course. "Tell me about Dante Moretti. And don't leave out the parts Sophia found on Google." His expression became guarded. "What did she find?" "That your family is connected to organized crime. That you're the heir to some kind of empire. The people are afraid of you." I met his eyes steadily. "Is it true?" "Yes. No excuses, no explanations, just simple honesty." "All of it?" I pressed. "My family's business is complicated. We operate in gray areas. Some of what we do is legitimate. Restaurants, real estate, import-export. Some of it isn't. And yes, people are afraid of me. With good reason. Should I be afraid of you? Probably. But you're not. I saw that last night. You walked up to me knowing I was dangerous, and you did it anyway." He leaned forward. "Why?" "Because Marcus was making me feel small. And you looked like someone who'd make me feel powerful instead." "Did I? Make you feel powerful?" "Yes. Especially when you kissed me in front of him." Something heated in Dante's eyes. That kiss. I haven't stopped thinking about it. It was just for show. It wasn't, and we both know it. His hand reached across the table, fingers grazing mine. "Emma, I'm going to be honest with you. When you walked up to me last night, I was intrigued. Beautiful woman, clearly in distress, using me as a shield. I played along because I was curious, but then I kissed you and what? And I felt something I haven't felt in a very long time. Want. Real want. Not just attraction, though God knows you're stunning, but genuine interest in who you are, what you think, what makes you laugh." His fingers laced through mine. "So yes, this started as a favor, a game. But Emma, I'd like it to become something real." My heart hammered. "Dante, I just got out of a toxic relationship. I'm not ready for—" "I know. Which is why I'm not pushing. We'll take this at your pace. But I want you to know my intentions. I want to date you. Really date you. Get to know you. And eventually, if you'll let me, make you mine for real." "Why me? You could have anyone." "I don't want anyone. I want the woman brave enough to claim me in a crowded bar, the woman who stands up to me instead of cowering, the woman who makes me laugh and challenges me and—" He stopped, jaw tightening. "Who makes me want to be better than I am. You barely know me. Then let me change that. Give me a chance, Emma. A real chance." Before I could answer, his phone rang. He glanced at it, frowned, then silenced it. "Sorry. Business." It rang again immediately. This time he answered. "This better be important," he said in Italian, his voice cold in a way I hadn't heard before. I didn't speak Italian, but I could hear the urgency in the caller's response. Dante's expression darkened when, a pause. "How long ago?" Another pause. "Find him. I don't care what it takes. Find him and bring him to me." He hung up, and when he looked at me, I saw something dangerous in his eyes. Something that reminded me exactly who and what he was. "I need to handle something. I'm sorry. I'll have my driver take you home." "What happened?" "Nothing you need to worry about." He signaled for the check, which appeared instantly. "Emma, don't lie to me. You said you wanted honesty. Give me the same courtesy." He studied me for a long moment. Someone made a move against my family's interests. Someone who knew I was here, distracted. They're sending a message. What kind of message? That they know about you. That they see you as a weakness. His jaw clenched. Which means I need to make it very clear that you're under my protection. That touching you means war. Ice flooded my veins. Dante, I don't want to be the reason. You're not the reason they are. But Emma, this is what my life is. Threats. Danger. Constantly watching my back. He stood, offering his hand. I'll understand if you want to end this now. If you want to go back to your safe, normal life and forget we ever met. I should say yes, should run from this man and his dangerous world. Instead, I took his hand. One condition, you don't lie to me ever. About the danger, about your business, about what dating you really means. I can handle the truth. I can't handle being kept in the dark. Something shifted in his expression. Surprise, respect, something warmer. Deal. No lies. But Emma, that means you'll hear things that might scare you. Then I'll be scared. But I'll be informed. I squeezed his hand. Take care of your business, but text me when you're done so I know you're okay. You're worried about me. Apparently. Against my better judgment, he pulled me close, right there in the restaurant with everyone watching, and kissed my forehead. I'll text you. And tomorrow, I'm taking you somewhere special. Somewhere safe where we can talk without my phone interrupting. Dante, say yes. Say you'll give this a real chance. Yes. But if people start shooting at us, I'm out. He laughed, the sound surprising and genuine. Fair enough. No shooting, I promise. The driver took me home, but Dante didn't come. I tried not to worry, tried to distract myself with TV and a book, but my mind kept returning to that phone call, to the coldness in his voice, to the danger he'd mentioned so casually. At midnight. It's handled. Everyone's safe, including you. Sleep well, Bella. Tomorrow I'll show you a part of my world that's beautiful, not dangerous. D, are you okay? Really okay, better now. Knowing you're home safe. Knowing you gave us a real chance. Thank you, Emma. For not running. Thank you for being honest, even when it's scary. Always. That's my promise to you. Now sleep. Dream of me again. I'll be dreaming of you. I fell asleep with my phone on my pillow, a small smile on my face despite the danger, despite the complications, despite everything that said this was a terrible idea. The next morning, I woke to a text from an unknown number. Stay away from Dante Moretti. He's dangerous. You have no idea what you're getting into. This is your only warning. A friend, my blood ran cold. I screenshot the message and sent it to Dante immediately. His response came fast. I'm on my way. Don't leave your apartment. Don't open the door for anyone except me. Dante, what's going on? Someone's trying to scare you away from me. It won't work. I'm coming. Stay put. 20 minutes later, Dante appeared at my door with Luca and 2 other men. He looked like he'd been up all night, still in yesterday's suit. Tie loosened, hair disheveled. Show me the message. I handed him my phone. His expression went deadly cold. This number. It's from one of Marcus's associates. He looked at me. Your ex is trying to intimidate you, using my reputation to scare you away. Marcus knows your associates. Marcus has been asking around about me, making connections, trying to find leverage. Dante's jaw clenched. He's more dangerous than you thought, and now he's using me as a weapon against you. What do? We make it very clear that you're mine. Really mine. That anyone who touches you, threatens you, even looks at you wrong answers to me. His eyes held mine. But Emma, that means committing to this. To us, can you do that? This was happening too fast. We'd had one real date and now I was supposed to commit to a relationship with a man whose life included threats and danger and… Yes. I heard myself say. Yes, I can do that. Then we do this properly. He pulled me close. Starting now, you're mine, not fake. Not pretend mine, and everyone will know it. Mine turned out to mean something very specific in Dante's world. Within hours, I had a security detail. Luca and another man named Tony who followed me everywhere. To work, to lunch, to the coffee shop down the street. It was suffocating and reassuring in equal measure. Is this really necessary? I asked Dante over dinner at his penthouse. Because apparently, I wasn't allowed to go to restaurants anymore without extensive security checks. Marcus escalated. He involved my business contacts, tried to use my reputation against you. That's not someone who's going to back down easily. Dante's hand found mine across the table. I know it feels extreme. But Emma, I won't risk you. Not for anything. I feel like a prisoner. You're not a prisoner, you're protected. There's a difference? Is there? Because I can't go anywhere without armed guards following me. He was quiet for a moment, then stood, pulling me up with him. Come with me. I want to show you something. He led me to his home office. a room I hadn't been in before. The walls were covered with monitors showing various locations. I recognized my apartment building, the entrance to my office, even the coffee shop I frequented. "You've been watching me." My voice came out sharper than intended. "I've been protecting you. There's a difference." He pointed to one screen. "That's Marcus. Outside your building. 3 hours ago. He left when he saw Luca. Ice flooded through me." "He came to my apartment?" "He's been there twice since the message. Trying to catch you alone. Trying to." Dante stopped, jaw clenching. "Trying to get to you. Which is why the security isn't negotiable." I stared at the screens, at the evidence of Marcus's stalking, and felt violated in a way I hadn't expected. Why is he doing this? Because he can't stand that you moved on, that you found someone he perceives as better than him. Marcus is a narcissist, Emma. He needs you to be broken without him. Your happiness threatens his narrative. How do you know so much about him? I had him investigated. Within an hour of receiving that text message, I knew everything about Marcus Webb. His job, his finances, his habits, his weaknesses. Dante turned to face me fully. He's in debt, gambling mostly. He owes the wrong people money, which means he's desperate. And desperate men are dangerous. What are you going to do? I'm going to make him an offer. Clear his debts in exchange for leaving you alone. Permanently. You're going to pay off Marcus. I'm going to buy your safety. There's a difference. I pulled away from him, pacing the office. This is insane. We've known each other a week. You're buying off my ex-boyfriend, putting guards on me, watching my apartment. Because you're mine now. I told you that. Did you think I was speaking metaphorically? Yes. I thought you meant we were dating. Not that you were going to restructure my entire life. He moved toward me, his voice gentler. I understand this is overwhelming. But in my world, half measures get people hurt. If I'm going to protect you, I do it completely. No compromises. And if I don't want this level of protection, if I want my normal life back, then you walk away. Right now. I'll clear Marcus's debts anyway. Make sure he never bothers you again, and we part ways. His eyes held mine. But if you stay, if you choose this, you choose all of it. The protection, the guards, the way I need to know you're safe at all times. Because Emma, I'm falling for you. Fast and hard and completely. And I don't know how to love someone halfway. The confession hung in the air between us. Love. He'd said love. We've known each other a week. I repeated, my voice softer now. I know, it's insane. But I felt it that first night when you walked up to me. And it's only gotten stronger every moment since. He cupped my face gently. Tell me you don't feel it too. Tell me I'm alone in this. I couldn't. Because I did feel it. This impossible, irrational connection to a man I barely knew but who somehow felt essential. I feel it, I admitted. But Dante, I'm scared. Of this intensity, of your world. Of losing myself in your need to protect me. Then we find balance. We compromise. You tell me when it's too much and I'll listen. I'll adjust. But Emma, I won't risk your safety. That's non-negotiable. Before I could respond, his phone rang. He glanced at it, then answered. Talk to me. A pause. Then his expression darkened. When? How many? Another pause. Lock it down. Nobody in or out. I'm on my way. He hung up, already moving. I need to handle something. Luca will stay with you. Don't leave the penthouse. Dante, what's happening? Someone hit one of my warehouses. This is the third incident this week. He grabbed his jacket, checking his gun. A sight that should have terrified me but somehow didn't. This is coordinated. Someone's making a move. Is it Marcus? No. Marcus is small time. This is someone bigger. Someone using the chaos around us to make their play. He kissed me quickly, fiercely. Stay here. Stay safe. I'll be back as soon as I can. He left, and I was alone in the penthouse with Luca standing guard outside the office door. I tried to distract myself with TV, with a book, but my mind kept returning to Dante, to the danger he was walking into. Around midnight, Sophia called. Emma, what the hell is going on? I went by your apartment and there are men watching it. It's complicated. Uncomplicated. Are you in danger? Should I call the police? No, God no, Sophia, I'm fine. I'm with Dante. He's being protective. Protective. Emma, this is insane. You've known him a week and you're letting him control your life. He's not controlling me. He's keeping me safe from Marcus. Silence. Then, what did Marcus do? I told her everything. The threatening messages, Marcus showing up at my apartment, Dante's investigation. Jesus. Sophia breathed. I knew Marcus was a narcissist, but this, Emma, maybe Dante's right. Maybe you do need protection. You think I should stay with him. I think you should be careful. But I saw how Dante looked at you that night. That wasn't fake. That wasn't a game. That was real. And if he's this intense about protecting you after a week, imagine what he'll be like if you actually fall in love with him. What if I already am falling in love with him? Then hold on tight. Because dating a man like Dante Moretti, that's not going to be boring. After we hung up, I wandered back to Dante's office, staring at the monitors, and that's when I saw him, Marcus, outside the building, looking up at the penthouse level, his expression dark with rage. I grabbed my phone. Texting Donnie, Marcus is outside your building. Right now. His response was instant. I see him. Security is handling it. Stay inside? I'm 10 minutes away. I watched on the monitors as 2 of Dante's men approached Marcus, spoke to him briefly, then escorted him away from the building. Marcus went, but not before looking up one more time, his expression promising retribution. When Dante returned 20 minutes later, he looked exhausted. You saw him, on the monitors. Your men took him away. What did they say to him? They delivered my message, stay away from you. Or his debts get called in immediately and his employers find out about his gambling problem. He pulled me into his arms. He's banned from within 3 blocks of any property I own. If he comes near you again, there will be consequences. What kind of consequences? The kind that ensure he never bothers you again. His voice was cold. Emma, I know you don't like violence. But some men only understand force. Marcus is one of them. I don't want you to hurt him because of me. I'm not hurting him for you. I'm protecting you from him. There's a difference. He guided me to the couch, pulling me down beside him. How are you handling all this? Really? I'm terrified and exhilarated in equal measure. Is that normal? With me? Probably. His arm came around my shoulders, solid and warm. Emma, I need to ask you something, and I need you to really think before you answer. Okay, move in with me. Here. At least until the Marcus situation is resolved. I pulled back to look at him. That's moving really fast. I know. But having you in your apartment, even with guards, it's too risky. Marcus knows where you live. Here you're safe. Security is better. And? He stopped, vulnerability crossing his face. And I'd sleep better knowing you're close. Dante, before you say no, consider this. You're essentially living here already. You've been here every night this week. Your clothes are in my closet, because we keep having to get them from your apartment. Your toothbrush is in my bathroom. Moving in just makes it official. He was right. Somehow, without planning it, I'd become a fixture in his life, in his space. What about my lease? I'll pay it out. Use it for storage. But I'm alive here. With me. Let me take care of you. I don't need taking care of. I know. But I need to do it anyway. Call it a character flaw. His hand found my face. Please. Say yes. I thought about my tiny apartment with its thin walls and creaky floors. About Marcus knowing where I lived. About the safety I felt here, in Dante's space, surrounded by his protection. Okay. But we're setting boundaries. I'm not a possession. I'm your girlfriend. There's a difference. Agreed. You're my partner, my equal, my... He stopped, then said the word anyway. My love. Because that's what this is, Emma. I'm in love with you. Completely. Probably too soon, definitely too intense, but undeniably real. I think I'm falling in love with you too. Which is insane. The best things usually are. He kissed me softly. Welcome home, Bella. Moving in was surprisingly easy. Dante had a team pack up my apartment within a day, transferring everything to his penthouse. He cleared space in his closet, his bathroom, made room for me in his life with the same decisiveness he brought to everything. Sophia helped, though she still looked worried. Are you sure about this? She asked as we unpacked boxes in what was now my side of the walk-in closet. No. But I'm doing it anyway. That's very unlike you. The old Emma would have run from this level of intensity. Maybe I'm not the old Emma anymore. Maybe almost losing myself in Marcus's toxicity taught me that safe isn't always right. And dangerous is. When it's the right kind of dangerous. Yes. I held up a dress. Where should this go? Next to the evening gowns Dante already bought you, apparently. Sophia pointed to a section of the closet I hadn't noticed. Filled with designer dresses, all in my size. He's been shopping for you. I found the note tucked among the dresses. For all the places I want to take you. Wear them and think of me. He's incorrigible, I muttered, but I was smiling. That night, Dante took me to a charity gala. My first public appearance as his official girlfriend. The dress he'd chosen was perfect emerald green that matched his eyes, elegant without being ostentatious. "Ready?" he asked as we pulled up to the venue. "To be stared at by everyone wondering what you're doing with me." "Sure. They'll be staring because you're stunning. And because I look at you like you hung the moon." He kissed my hand. "Let them stare. Let them see that you're mine. That's the point." The gala was overwhelming. Hundreds of people in expensive clothes, all of whom seemed to know Dante, all of whom looked at me with varying degrees of curiosity and calculation. "Dante, I didn't know you were bringing someone." A woman approached, beautiful, elegant, with eyes that assessed me coldly. "Veronica. This is Emma, my girlfriend." Emma. Veronica Castellano. The name meant nothing to me, but Dante's hand tightened on my waist, a warning. "Girlfriend? How sudden?" Veronica's smile didn't reach her eyes. "I don't remember seeing her at the last family gathering. Because we just started dating. But you'll be seeing plenty of her now." Dante's voice held a subtle warning. "She's important to me. I can see that." Veronica's gaze traveled over me, dismissive. "Well, enjoy the evening." She walked away, and I turned to Dante. "Who was that?" "Someone who thought she'd be standing where you are." His expression was unreadable. She was wrong. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of introductions and careful conversations. Dante kept me close, his hand always on me, my waist, my back, my hand, claiming me publicly in a way that should have felt possessive but instead felt protective. "You did well tonight," he said as we drove home. "I know it wasn't easy, being on display like that. Everyone was judging whether I'm good enough for you, and concluding you're too good for me. Which is accurate." He brought my hand to his lips. "Thank you for doing that. For standing beside me. For letting them see that you're mine." Dante, about that. The mine thing. "I need you to understand something. I'm not a possession. I chose you, yes. But I'm still my own person. I know that. When I say mine, I don't mean I own you, I mean." He searched for words. "I mean you're the person I protect. The person I prioritize. The person I love. Is that better?" "Yes. Much better." We pulled into the parking garage, but before we could get out, Dante's phone rang. He glanced at it, frowned, then answered. This better be important. Whatever the caller said made his expression go deadly cold. "When?" A pause. "How bad?" Another pause. "I'm on my way. Triple security at the penthouse. Nobody gets near Emma." He hung up, already dialing another number. "Luca, I need you at the penthouse now. Full lockdown. Emma doesn't leave, doesn't answer the door, doesn't." He looked at me. "Just keep her safe." "Dante, what's happening?" "Someone just tried to kill me. They hit my car. A car I should have been in but wasn't because I was with you." His voice was tight with controlled rage. "This is war now, Emma. And I need to know you're protected while I handle it." 3 days of being trapped in the penthouse, while Dante disappeared into his world of violence and retribution. 3 days of Luca standing guard, of meals delivered by security, vetted staff. Of watching the news for reports of gang violence that never mentioned Dante's name, but that I knew were connected to him. He called twice a day, morning and night, his voice tired but steady. "I'm fine," he'd say before I could ask. "It's handled. Almost over. Just a few more loose ends." Whose car was it, the one they bombed? "One of my drivers. He's alive. Injured but alive. They've been dealt with." I didn't ask what "dealt with" meant. I wasn't sure I wanted to know. On the 3rd night, Dante finally came home. He looked exhausted, suit rumpled, 5 o'clock shadow darkening his jaw, eyes hollowed with fatigue. But alive. Whole. I launched myself at him before he'd fully closed the door, wrapping my arms around him, breathing in his familiar scent. "You're okay. You're really okay?" I promised I would be. His arms tightened around me. "Dio, I missed you. Every moment away from you felt like torture." "What happened? Who tried to kill you?" He was quiet for a long moment, then led me to the couch, pouring himself a whiskey before sitting. "Veronica Castellano. The woman from the gala." His voice was flat. "She hired the hit. Thought if she eliminated me, she could take over my operations. And she was angry about you. About being passed over. She tried to kill you because you chose me over her. She tried to kill me because she's ambitious and ruthless and saw an opportunity. You were just the catalyst." He took a long drink. "She's been dealt with. Her family disavowed her. She'll never be a threat again." "What does dealt with mean?" "Dante," he met my eyes. "It means she's alive but exiled. Stripped of power and protection. In my world, that's sometimes worse than death. And Marcus? Is he connected to this? No, Marcus is exactly what he appears to be, a bitter ex with delusions of importance. But Emma, I need to tell you something. He set down his glass. The threat against us, against you, it's not over. Veronica was just one player. There are others who see you as my weakness, who'll try to use you to hurt me. So what do? We have two choices. In this now, I make sure you're safe, set you up somewhere far from my world and we part ways. Or, he took my hands. Or we go all in. Make you not just my girlfriend but my wife. Give you the full protection of my family name. Make it clear that attacking you is attacking me directly. My heart stopped. You're asking me to marry you. I'm asking you to choose, safety away from me or danger with me. His eyes held mine. I love you, Emma. I want forever with you. But I won't trap you in this life if you don't want it. You have to choose freely. We've known each other 2 weeks. I know. It's insane. But I knew after that first kiss. Knew you were mine. Knew I'd never let you go if you'd stay. And if I say yes, if I marry you, what does that life look like? Complicated. Protected. You'd need security always. You'd be a target just by being with me. But Emma, his voice roughened. You'd also be loved. Completely. Fiercely. I'd give you everything. Protect you with my life. Build a future where our children are safe and our family is strong. Children. Dante, we haven't even. I'm talking about forever. About building something real. And yes, that includes children someday, a family, a life. He cupped my face. But only if you want it. Only if you choose me. I thought about my old life, safe, boring, small. About Marcus who'd made me feel worthless. About the woman I'd been before I walked up to a dangerous stranger and claimed him as mine. Yes. Yes to what? Yes to all of it. To forever. To building this insane, dangerous, beautiful life with you. I kissed him fiercely. I choose you, Dante. Completely. His kiss was claiming, desperate. Full of relief and love and promise. When he pulled back, there were tears in his eyes. I'll make you so happy, Emma. I swear it. You'll never regret choosing me. I already don't. He pulled a box from his pocket. Apparently he'd been carrying it, waiting for my answer. Inside was a ring that took my breath away, a large emerald surrounded by diamonds, elegant and bold. It was my grandmother's. She left it to me with instructions to give it to the woman who captured my heart. He slid it onto my finger. It's yours now. You're mine now. And I'm yours. Forever. The engagement was announced the next day, not in newspapers but through Dante's network. Within hours, my phone exploded with messages. Sophia, of course, but also people I'd never met, congratulating me, welcoming me to the family. This is overwhelming, I told Dante as we read through the messages. It's politics. Everyone wants to be on the good side of my wife. He wrapped his arms around me from behind. Get used to it, Mrs. Moretti. We're not married yet. A formality. In my world. The engagement is binding. You're mine now. Officially, that evening we had dinner with Danny's family. His mother, his 2 younger sisters, his uncle who served as consigliere. They descended on the penthouse with food and wine and loud, loving chaos. Finally, his mother exclaimed, pulling me into a fierce hug. A woman strong enough for my Dante! Grazie a Dio. His sisters were equally enthusiastic, immediately planning the wedding with the same intensity Dante applied to everything. Isabella declared, a June wedding, traditional. Elegant, private, Dante interjected, small, just family. I'm not putting Emma on display for every crime family in the city. But Dante, his mother protested, people will want to come. To show respect. They can show respect by leaving us alone. His hand found mine. Emma isn't a political statement, she's my wife. This wedding is about us, not business. The word wife sent a thrill through me every time he said it. After dinner, as his family was leaving, his uncle pulled me aside. You're good for him, he said quietly. I haven't seen Dante this happy in years. This alive. Just be careful, Emma. The life you're entering, it's not easy. There will be days you question this choice. I'm sure. But I'm not going anywhere. Good. Because if you hurt him, I'll have to kill you. Nothing personal. He said it with a smile. But I saw the truth behind it. This family protected its own. 2 weeks later, we married in a small ceremony at a private estate outside the city. Only immediate family, no fanfare, no politics. Just Dante and me, promising forever while his mother cried and his sisters took 1,000 photos. You look like a dream, Dante whispered as we danced to our first song as husband and wife. My beautiful, brave, impossible wife. Your wife who just married into the Mafia. Living. Really living. Finally, he kissed me softly. Thank you for choosing me, Emma. For seeing past the danger to the man underneath. Thank you for making me feel powerful instead of small. For loving me loud and fierce instead of quiet and conditional. Always. That's my promise. I'll love you loudly every day for the rest of our lives. The honeymoon was 2 weeks in Italy. Away from the business, from the threats, from everything except each other. Dante showed me his hometown, introduced me to distant relatives, took me to places tourists never saw. This is where my father proposed to my mother, he said one evening as we stood on a cliff overlooking the Mediterranean. He told her he was dangerous, that she should run, that loving him would be complicated. She said she didn't care, that some things were worth the risk. Smart woman. She was. Is. He turned to face me. Emma, I need to tell you something. About the business. About what happens when we go home. My stomach tightened. Okay. I'm stepping back. Not completely. I can't abandon my responsibilities. But I'm transferring day-to-day operations to Luca. Focusing on the legitimate businesses. Building something our children won't have to be ashamed of. Dante. You didn't ask me to do this. But I want to. I want a life where I come home to you every night. Where you don't have to worry if I'll survive the day. Where we can build something real and good. His hands cupped my face. You make me want to be better. So I'm going to be better? I don't want you to change who you are for me. I'm not changing who I am. I'm becoming who I want to be. There's a difference. He kissed me softly, and who I want to be is your husband. A good husband. A safe husband. A man you can build a future with without fear. I love you. Exactly as you are. And I love you. Enough to change, enough to try. We returned home to find Marcus had left the city. Dante's people had made it clear, very clear, that his presence was no longer welcome. He'd moved to California, started over, and according to reports, was in therapy dealing with his issues. You didn't hurt him, I said when Dante told me. I promised I wouldn't, and I keep my promises to you. He pulled me into his lap. Besides, broken men aren't threats. He's harmless now. What about Veronica, exiled to Sicily, working in her family's olive groves? She'll never have power again. He traced my face with one finger. Everyone who threatened you has been dealt with. You're safe now. Really safe. With you. Always. He kissed me deeply. You're my safety, Emma. My home. My everything. 6 months into our marriage, I discovered I was pregnant. Dante's reaction was everything I could have hoped for. Joy, tears, immediate panic about whether the penthouse was safe enough for a baby. He declared, with a yard, and better security, and, Dante. Breathe, we have time. We have 7 months. That's not enough time, Toe. I kissed him to shut him up. We'll figure it out. Together, he agreed, his hand moving to my still, flat stomach. Our family. Our future. Our everything. The baby came in spring. A girl with my eyes and Dante's hair. We named her Sophia Grace after my best friend and his grandmother. She's perfect, Dante whispered, holding our daughter with trembling hands. Like her mother. She's going to wrap you around her finger. Already has. He looked up at me with tears in his eyes. Thank you, Emma. For this, for her. For choosing me even when I was dangerous. For building this life with me. Thank you for playing along that first night. For kissing me in front of Marcus. For making me feel powerful when I'd forgotten how. Always, amor. I'll spend the rest of my life making you feel powerful. Making you feel loved. Making you feel like you make the right choice. I did make the right choice. The best choice. I touched his face. You were dangerous. You still are sometimes. But you're also the man who loves me fiercely. Who changed his life for our family. Who makes me laugh and feel safe and believe in forever. Forever is exactly how long I plan to love you. And he did, every day, loudly, fiercely, perfectly. Sophia was 6 months old when the past came back to haunt us. I just put her down for her afternoon nap, when Luca appeared at the door of our new house. A beautiful estate with gates and gardens and security that made Fort Knox look lax. Emma, we have a situation. Dante wants you and Sophia in the safe room. Now, my blood ran cold. We hadn't used the safe room since it was installed. What's happening? Veronica escaped exile. She's in the city, and she's making threats. His expression was grim. Specific threats. About you and the baby. I was moving before he finished speaking, scooping Sophia from her crib, grabbing the emergency bag we kept packed. Within 3 minutes, We were locked in the reinforced safe room in the basement, me, Sophia, and 2 armed guards. How long? I asked. Until Dante gives the all clear. Could be hours. Could be days. It was 8 hours. 8 hours of pacing the comfortable but confined space, of nursing Sophia and singing to her, of trying not to imagine what Dante was dealing with above us. When the door finally opened, Dante stood there looking exhausted but unharmed. His eyes found Sophia first, then me, and the relief on his face was palpable. It's over. She's contained. You're safe. I handed Sophia to one of the guards and launched myself at Dante, needing to feel him solid and whole. What happened? She came for you. Got past the first 2 security checkpoints before we stopped her. His voice was tight with controlled rage. She had a gun, Emma. Was planning to. He stopped, jaw clenching. But we got her. She's not a threat anymore. You killed her. No. But she's somewhere she'll never escape from. Somewhere she can't hurt anyone. He pulled back to look at me. I'm sorry. I promised you'd be safe. That our daughter would be safe, and she got close. Too close. But she didn't get to us. Your security worked exactly as designed. I cupped his face. Dante, you can't control everything. Can't predict every threat. What matters is we're okay. Sophia's okay. This time. But what about next time? What about the next person who sees you as a way to hurt me? His hands were shaking slightly. Emma, I don't know if I can do this. Lev, knowing you're always in danger because of me. Then we leave. Move away. Start over somewhere new. He looked at me like I'd suggested we fly to the moon. Leave. Why not? You've legitimized most of the business. Luca can handle the rest. We could go to Italy, raise Sophia away from all this. Be normal, normal, he repeated like the word was foreign. You'd do that? Leave your life here, your friends, your career. My life is you and Sophia. Everything else is just details. I took his hands. Dante, I married you knowing the risks. But I also married you believing we could build something better. Something safe. If that means leaving, we leave. You'd give up everything for me, just like you changed everything for me. That's what marriage is. That's what family is. He pulled me close, holding me tight enough that I could feel his heart hammering. I don't deserve you. We've established that. But you're stuck with me anyway. We didn't leave immediately. There were things to handle, transfers to arrange, power to redistribute. But 3 months later we moved to a villa in Tuscany, far from Dante's old life, close to his family's roots. This is really happening, I said as we pulled up to our new home. We're really starting over. We're really starting over. Dante agreed. New life. New beginning. Just the 3 of us. Life in Italy was different. Slower. Dante worked from home, managing his legitimate investments remotely. I learned to cook from local women, practiced my Italian, watched Sophia grow in the sunshine and safety. You're happy, Dante observed one evening as we sat on the terrace, Sophia asleep between us. Really am. Aren't you? I'm peaceful. Which is something I didn't think I'd ever be. His hand found mine. You gave me this, Emma. This life, this peace. This family. We gave it to each other. I wish I could go back to that first night. Tell my past self that the woman who walks up to him will change everything. That she'll be his salvation. I wish I could tell my past self that the dangerous man in the corner booth is actually the safest choice I'll ever make. Not safe. Never safe. But worth it. Always worth it. Sophia started walking at 10 months, her first steps taking her straight to Dante, who caught her with tears in his eyes. Did you see that? I saw. Amor. Our genius daughter walked. We need to call my mother and my sisters. And let her do it again so we can record it. Come on, Sophia, show Daddy again. Life became a routine of beautiful mundane moments. Sophia's first words, Mama, then Papa, then No, which she used liberally. Her first birthday party with Dante's entire extended family descending on the villa. The discovery that I was pregnant again. With twins this time. Twins. Dante stared at the ultrasound image. We're having twins. Apparently you're very efficient. I'm going to need a bigger house. More security. Better. Dante. Breathe. We have 6 months. That's not. I kissed him. We'll figure it out like we always do. The twins' boys were born healthy and loud. Marco and Luca. Named after Dante's most loyal men. 3 children. Dante said, holding both boys while Sophia demanded his attention. We have 3 children. How did this happen? Well, when 2 people love each other very much. Smart ass. But he was smiling. Emma, I love our chaos, love our life. Love every moment of this beautiful mess we've created. even when all three are crying at once, especially then. Because it means we made this together. Despite everything, the danger, the threats, the insanity, we built something real. When the twins were 6 months old, we got an unexpected visitor. Marcus. He appeared at our gate, looking older, humbler. The security team detained him immediately, calling Dante. "Let him in," Dante said after a long pause. "But keep him under watch." Marcus sat across from us in our living room, his hands shaking slightly. "I owe you an apology," he said, looking at me. "Both of you. The stalking, the threats, He stopped. "I was angry and jealous and I took it out on you. I'm sorry." "Why now?" I asked. "Why come here after 2 years?" "Because I'm getting married. And my therapist said I needed to make amends before I could move forward. So here I am." He looked at Dante. "Thank you for not killing me. I deserved it." "You did," Dante agreed. "But Emma asked me not to, so I didn't. She was always too good for me." "I see that now," Marcus stood. "I won't take up more of your time. I wanted you to know I'm sorry. And I hope you're happy." "We are," I said. "Very happy. I hope you find that too." After he left, Dante pulled me into his arms. "That was growth," he said. "Him apologizing. You accepting it gracefully. Us not killing him. We're very mature. We're very something." He kissed my forehead. "Though I admit, it took significant restraint not to throw him off our property. I noticed your hand on your gun. Old habits." That evening, after the children were asleep, we sat on the terrace under the stars. "Do you ever regret it?" Dante asked. "That night at the bar, walking up to me? Never, not once. You, playing along. Best decision of my life." He pulled me into his lap. "You know what I think about sometimes? If you'd chosen someone else that night. If you'd walked up to literally anyone else in that bar. But I didn't. I chose you. Why? Really why? Because you looked like someone who'd understand. Who'd play along. Who'd..." I stopped thinking. "Who'd make me feel powerful instead of small." And I was right. You did all those things and more. I made you feel powerful. You made me feel everything. Powerful, safe, loved, seen, important. You made me remember who I was before Marcus tried to destroy me. I touched his face. "You saved me, Dante. Just like I saved you." "From what?" "From a life of emptiness." I smiled. "From boring Sunday mornings and quiet evenings and ordinary happiness." Our happiness is many things. Ordinary is not one of them. No. But it's ours, and that's what matters. 5 years after that first night, we returned to the city for a visit. Sophia was in school, the twins in preschool, and Dante's mother wanted to see her grandchildren. We walked past the Velvet Room, the bar where it all started. "Should we go in?" I asked. "For old time's sake. Why not?" Inside was exactly as I remembered. The corner booth where Dante had been sitting was occupied by a young couple, clearly on a first date. "That's where you were sitting," I said, pointing. "Right there. Looking dangerous and beautiful. That's where you walked up to me, looking desperate and brave." He pulled me close. Changed my life with 4 words. "Hi, baby. Sorry I'm late." Best fake relationship that ever became real. The only fake relationship that became real. At least for me. We ordered drinks and sat at a different table, watching the young couple in our old booth navigate their awkward first date. "Think they'll make it?" I asked. "Depends. Is she brave enough to claim him? Is he smart enough to let her?" "What made it?" "We did more than make it. We built an empire." His hand found mine. An empire of sticky hands and loud mornings and chaos and love. The best kind. No regrets. Not one. You. Just that I didn't walk up to you sooner. Then we agree. That night was perfect. The beginning of everything. The beginning of us. The best us I could have imagined. We left the bar hand in hand, heading back to his mother's house where our children were probably terrorizing her with demands for cookies and stories. "This is it," Dante said as we walked. "This is the life I never knew I wanted. Ordinary days and extraordinary love and 3 children who have your eyes and my stubbornness. This is the life I was too scared to dream of. Safety and passion and a man who chose me and kept choosing me every day after. Always a more. I'll choose you every day for the rest of our lives. Even when I'm old and gray and our children are giving us grandchildren. Especially then. You'll be my dangerous choice, my beautiful risk, my everything." And he was right. Through everything, the chaos, the fear, the mundane moments, and the extraordinary ones, we chose each other. Every single day. Because some fake relationships are meant to become forever. And ours was always meant to be real. 10 years after that first night at the Velvet Room, I stood in our villa's kitchen, watching chaos unfold with the kind of amused resignation that came from a decade of marriage to Dante Moretti. Sofia, now 15, was arguing with her father about whether she could go to a party in the village. The twins, 13 and full of mischief, were supposed to be doing homework but were instead building what looked like a catapult out of kitchen utensils. And our youngest, 4-year-old Isabella, the surprise baby who'd arrived 3 years ago, was covered in flour, having helped me bake cookies. Absolutely not. Dante was saying to Sofia in that tone that meant the discussion was over. 15-year-old girls do not go to unchaperoned parties. But Papa, everyone is going. You're being ridiculous. I'm being a father. There's a difference. A mama? Sofia turned to me for support. Tell him he's being overprotective. I wiped flour from Isabella's face, trying not to smile. Your father has always been overprotective. It's one of his more endearing qualities. It's not endearing. It's suffocating. Sofia Maria Moretti. Dante's voice dropped to that dangerous quiet. Watch your tone with your mother. Sofia huffed but complied. She'd inherited my stubbornness and Dante's intensity, a combination that made for explosive teenage years. How about a compromise? I suggested. You can go to the party. What? All three, Sofia and both twins, exclaimed simultaneously. No way, Sofia protested. Hey, Marco objected. We're only 2 years younger, and we're cooler than you, Luca added. Boys, I warned. Not helping. Dante pulled me aside while the children continued bickering. You're really okay with her going? She's 15. We can't lock her in the villa forever, amor. Besides, the boys will keep an eye on her, and text us constantly knowing them. I don't like it. I know. But we have to let her grow up sometime. I touched his face. Remember when you were 15? What were you doing? Things that would give me a heart attack if Sofia tried them, he admitted. Fine. But the boys go, and she's home by 11 midnight, Sofia negotiated, appearing at his elbow. And the boys stay outside the party, 11:30, and the boys go inside. Deal. Crisis averted. I returned to baking while Dante helped Isabella decorate cookies, which mostly meant eating the icing. You know, he said, watching our daughter cover herself in more flour. 10 years ago I was running a criminal empire and making people disappear. Now I'm negotiating curfews and helping a 4-year-old ice cookies. How did this become my life? Because you walked into a bar and a desperate woman claimed you as her boyfriend. Best fake relationship I ever had. I was your only fake relationship. And thank God for that. He crossed to me, pulling me into his arms despite my flour-covered hands. I love this life, Emma, every chaotic, loud, messy moment of it. Even when Sofia is screaming at you about being overprotective. Especially then. Because it means I get to protect her. That she's here and safe and alive to scream at me. His arms tightened. Do you know how many nights I lie awake terrified something will happen to you? To them. That someone from my old life will come back. And how many times has something actually happened? Exactly once. With Veronica. And we handled it. Exactly. We handled it. Together. Like we handle everything. I kissed him softly. Dante, you've spent 10 years waiting for the other shoe to drop. Maybe it's time to believe we're actually safe. That we actually made it. Made it to what? To this, to normal family chaos. To teenager arguments and flour-covered toddlers and... I stopped as the twins launched something across the kitchen with their makeshift catapult. And boys who apparently think the kitchen is a physics lab. Marco, Luca, what did I say about building weapons in the house? You said not in the house. Marco pointed out. We're in the kitchen. That's technically different. That's technically still the house. But, outside. Now, take your catapult and go break something that isn't mine. The boys fled laughing, catapult in tow. Where do they get this from? I asked. Your genes, obviously. My genes? You're the one who taught them how to pick locks. Useful life skill. Dante. What? In an emergency. I kissed him to shut him up. You're impossible. And you love me anyway. Against all better judgment, yes. That evening, after the children were finally in bed, Sofia at the party with her brothers on guard duty, Isabella asleep after 3 stories and 2 glasses of water, we sat on the terrace with wine and stars and the comfortable silence of a decade together. Emma, Dante said suddenly, I need to tell you something. My stomach tightened. Those words, even after 10 years, still triggered anxiety. Okay, I've been offered a position in the States, running security consulting for legitimate businesses, teaching them how to protect against the kind of threats I used to be. He turned to look at me. It's legal. Completely legal. Good money. But it would mean moving back? You want to go back? I want to do something meaningful. Something that uses my skills for good instead of. He gestured vaguely. Instead of what I used to do. But Emma, only if you want to. If you're happy here, we stay. Your vote matters more than the job. I thought about our life in Tuscany. The peace we'd found, the safety, the distance from Dante's past. What do the kids think? I haven't asked them. Wanted to talk to you first. Ask them. Tomorrow. See what they want. If they're happy here, we stay. If they want adventure, we go. I took his hand. But Dante, I'm happy anywhere you are. Here, there, anywhere. As long as we're together, we're home. You'd really move back. After everything we left behind. We didn't leave everything behind. We left the danger, the threats, the old life. But your family is still there. My friends, and honestly, I miss it sometimes. Miss Sophia getting to know your mother better. Miss the twins having cousins around. Miss New York pizza, God yes. Italian food is great, but I'd kill for a proper New York slice. He laughed, pulling me into his lap. Then we'll discuss it with the kids. Make it a family decision. But Emma, thank you. For being willing to go back. For being flexible. For loving you. That's not hard anymore. Even when you're teaching our sons to pick locks. In my defense, they asked. They're 13. They ask about everything. Should I not have shown them? Dante, focus. We're talking about moving back to New York. Right. Moving New York. Pizza. He kissed my neck. But also, you look really beautiful in moonlight. Have I mentioned that? You're trying to distract me. Is it working? Unfortunately, yes. We told the children the next morning over breakfast. The reactions were mixed. Sophia's eyes lit up. With actual culture and museums and theater. And better shopping? I added. I'm in. The twins were less enthusiastic. But we have friends here. And the tree fort. And you'll make new friends, Dante said. And we'll build an even better tree fort. Trust me? Will Nana be there? Isabella asked, referring to Dante's mother. She will. You'll get to see her all the time. Then I want to go. I miss Nana. The vote was unanimous. We were moving back. 6 months later, we stood in front of a beautiful brownstone in Brooklyn. Far from Dante's old Manhattan territory, but close enough to family. This is it, Dante said. Technically our old home. I corrected. We're just coming back to it. Coming home. I like that better. The transition was surprisingly smooth. Sophia enrolled in a performing arts school and immediately joined 3 clubs. The twins found a group of kids who shared their love of building things. Isabella started press school and came home every day with paintings for our refrigerator. And Dante threw himself into his new job with the same intensity he'd brought to everything else. How is it? I asked one evening as he came home from his first week. The consulting. Fulfilling, strange. I'm teaching people how to protect themselves from men like I used to be. He loosened his tie. But good. Really good. I feel like I'm making up for some of the damage I caused. You've been making up for it for 10 years. Maybe. But this feels different. More direct. He pulled me close. Thank you for supporting this. For moving back. For letting me try to be better. You don't have to try more. You already are. 2 years after we moved back, we got an invitation that made me laugh and cry simultaneously. Marcus was getting married. And he'd invited us to the wedding. He's either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, Dante observed, reading the invitation. Or he's genuinely moved on and wants to show there are no hard feelings. Should we go? I kinda want to. Is that weird? After everything? Yes, it's weird. But, he smiled. But it's also very you forgiving kind. Better than he deserves. So we went. To a small wedding in Connecticut, where Marcus married a woman who looked at him with genuine love, and he looked back the same way. He's different. I observed during the reception. Softer, happier. Therapy and time will do that. Dante's hand found mine, and meeting the right person. Someone who brings out the best in you instead of the worst. Like you did for me. Like we did for each other. He pulled me onto the dance floor. Come on. Let's show them how it's done. We danced, and I remembered that first kiss at the Velvet Room. How Dante had claimed me in front of Marcus. How everything had changed in that moment. What are you thinking? Dante asked, seeing my expression. That I should send Marcus a thank you note. For what? For being such a terrible boyfriend that I was desperate enough to walk up to a dangerous stranger in a bar and claim him as mine. Dante laughed. When you put it that way, we do owe him? Think he knows that he's the reason we're together? Probably not. And let's keep it that way. His ego doesn't need the boost. As we left the wedding, Marcus stopped us at the door. Thank you for coming. I know it was probably weird. It was fine, I said. You seem happy. Marcus, really happy, I'm glad. Therapy helped. Meeting Rachel helped. But also he looked at Dante, seeing how wrong I was helped. How I treated you, Emma. But it taught me how not to be. So thank you. For the lesson. You're welcome. Take care of yourself, Marcus. In the car, Dante was quiet. What are you thinking? I asked. That everyone got their happy ending. Marcus found his person. Veronica is apparently running a successful olive oil business in Sicily. Even Luca got married last year. And us. Did we get our happy ending? We got our happy everything. Ending, middle, beginning. All of it. He brought my hand to his lips. Though I refuse to call it an ending. We're just getting started. We have 4 children and we've been married 10 years. That's not just getting started. With you. Every day is just getting started. On our 10th anniversary, Dante surprised me by booking the Velvet Room for a private evening. Just the 2 of us. In the corner booth where it all began. You remembered. I breathed, looking around at the familiar space. I remember everything about that night. The dress you wore. The desperation in your eyes. The way you walked up to me like you owned me. He pulled me into the booth, into his lap. The way you tasted when I kissed you. The way you played along without hesitation. Because I was intrigued. Curious. Captivated. His hand cupped my face. I knew even then that you were different. That you'd change everything. Did you? Really? Maybe not consciously. But something in me recognized you. Knew you were important. Knew I'd regret it if I let you walk away. So you kissed me. So I claimed you. Right here in front of everyone. Especially your ex. He smiled. Best decision I ever made. Second best. I corrected. The best was agreeing to the real date. The real relationship. The real everything. You're right. The kiss was good. Everything after was better. We ordered the same drinks we'd had that first night. Sat in the same places. Recreated the moment as best we could. Hi, baby. I said, echoing that first greeting. Sorry I'm late. Traffic, he asked, repeating his first words to me. Something like that. Well, you're here now. That's what matters. I touched his face, feeling the silver starting to thread through his dark hair, the lines around his eyes that came from a decade of laughter and love. I'd choose you again, every time, in every lifetime, even knowing everything. The danger, the complications, the chaos. Especially knowing everything. Because it led to this. To us, to our family. To a life I never knew I wanted but can't imagine living without. I love you, Emma Moretti. More today than yesterday, less than tomorrow. That's very poetic for a former Mafia boss. You bring out my softer side. And you bring out my brave side, my strong side. My side that doesn't settle for less than extraordinary. We kissed, there in our booth, tasting wine and memory and 10 years of love. Should we tell the kids? I asked when we broke apart. That this is where it all started. When they're older. When they can appreciate the insanity of it. Their mother, desperate to escape a bad ex, claiming a dangerous stranger as her boyfriend. That stranger captivated enough to play along. A fake relationship that became real. The most real thing in my life. Mine too. We stayed until closing, talking about everything and nothing. About Sophia's college plans and the twins' latest invention and Isabella's announcement that she wanted to be a princess doctor when she grew up. About Dante's work and my part-time consulting and the trip to Sicily we were planning for the summer. Normal things. Beautiful things. The kind of things I never thought I'd have with a man like Dante Moretti. Ready to go home, he asked finally. Always. As long as home is with you. We drove back to Brooklyn. To our brownstone full of sleeping children and the life we'd built. As we stood in the doorway, Dante pulled me close. Thank you, he whispered. For what? For that first night. For walking up to me. For being brave enough to claim me. For choosing me every day after. For building this beautiful, chaotic, perfect life with me. His voice roughened. For saving me, Emma. In every way a person can be saved. You saved me too. From settling. From believing I wasn't worth real love. From a life half lived. I kissed him softly. We saved each other, and we'll keep saving each other, every day, for the rest of our lives. Promise? Promise? You're mine, Emma. Really mine. Forever mine. And you're mine. My dangerous choice. My beautiful risk. My everything. We walked inside, closing the door on the past, on that first desperate night, on everything we'd overcome to get here. But the best part. We were still writing our story, still choosing each other, still falling in love every single day. Because some fake relationships are meant to become forever. And ours was always meant to be legendary.